Once upon a time, I was in fact a little kid, and in these times of innocence and being completely oblivious to the shit that life was about to throw my way over the next rest of my life, I enjoyed watching a lot of movies. Some of my childhood movies I still appreciate even in adulthood, others, and I just revisited one of the movies from my childhood because I thought it would be a lot of fun. And it turns out, what the genuine fuck was that? I am of course talking about The Adventures of Sharkboy and Lavagirl, a movie written and directed by Robert Rodriguez, who is also responsible for the Spy Kids franchise and movies like Sin City. Now, Sharkboy and Lavagirl came out in 2005, and as somebody who thought it was the absolute shit as a 5-year-old and hasn't rewatched it since then, I was not ready for the psychological torture that is watching this movie. Holy shit. This movie has a completely incomprehensible plot, vomit-worthy 3D CGI, god-awful dialogue, and acting that is up there with The Room in the category of worst performances of all time. But I think it's safe to say that this movie is self-aware most of the time. I have no problem accepting that Robert Rodriguez probably knew how ridiculous this movie was gonna be. Apparently this movie was conceived by his 7-year-old son at the time, so that just tells me that he basically just made this movie for his kids. I mean, it would be pretty dumb to think that this movie was actually meant to be taken seriously by anyone over that age of like 7. But the fact remains that upon rewatching this film, I strongly feel as though my IQ has dropped by about 650, and now I just feel so bad for all the grown-ass parents who had to take their kids to see it, including mine. And with that being said, we gotta be fair, we gotta make fun of the movie. So let's go ahead and break it down because I want to try and make sense of whatever it is that I just watched. So all things considered, the movie's not actually off to a bad start, okay? It actually opens with a very insightful quote from, I think it's Martin Luther King. First scene of the movie, and we have a baby shark boy feeding sushi to a bunch of sharks. He lives with his marine biologist father who studies great white sharks and calls his son Sharkboy because he likes sharks. A storm comes along and separates Sharkboy from his father, where shortly after, 3 sharks come along and find him.
Hey, it's Sharkboy. Don't take a bite out of him, boys. He's a friend.
Wait, does King Shark from the Suicide Squad come from this movie universe?
New dumb friends!
That explains a lot. Explains why he's a fucking moron. Then the sharks take him to a cave where they raise him to somehow become half man, half shark. Okay. Years later, this kid named Max meets an older shark boy, now played by a preteen Taylor Lautner, and like any normal kid would, Max abducts Sharkboy and takes him home so he can swim in the goddamn shower as a human fish tank. Out of all the stupid shit that's already happened so far, I want to know how no water is leaking out of this thing. Anyway, it turns out Sharkboy had been traveling the universe in search of his father because apparently seeing your dad drift away at sea would lead you to believe that he ended up on another planet or something. Then this Lavagirl person breaks into Max's house and gives a really creepy smile to Max.
Lavagirl. She smiled at me, for that seemed to be her name.
Jesus, you can just see the pain behind those eyes. Maybe this was the day she realized she didn't want to be a part of this movie anymore. Anyway, she steals Sharkboy and they run away to fight bad guys or something. All of the above is revealed to be a fairy tale made up by Max, who's reading it out to his class from what he calls his dream journal, and then the entire class shits on him for it.
Enough! Someone is picking that up. And it's not gonna be me.
Okay, so George Lopez is in this movie and he's one of the best things about it. Not because his performance is good, but more so the exact opposite. His performance is so ridiculously over the top that there is no way you can't be at least mildly entertained whenever this guy is on screen. But more on that later.
We were supposed to tell true stories.
So here we have the school's most notorious bully, raging psychopath, future mass murderer, and all-round piece of shit, Linus. And I hate every aspect of this kid's presence.
Linus, you're next.
How did that happen? There was no reason for Max to fall down. Linus gets up in front of the class and publicly humiliates Max. George Lopez, aka Mr. Electric, keeps Max and Linus back after class and tries to make them become friends, and then he gutter stomps on Max's hopes and dreams. Max then runs into Linus and his boys on the playground who bully him some more, and then they proceed to chase him and his dream journal.
I'm gonna burst your bubble, dream boy.
Linus is the Italian mafia crime boss of the playground who directs kids where to run, and to conclude this super intense chase sequence, Max decides to dig his own grave by climbing up one of those playground spiderweb things. Now, I don't know if Max knows this about these things, but once you reach the top, you actually have to come back down eventually. So what the heck did you do that for when you're being chased by like 25 little psychopaths? So Max trips on his balls and Linus and co finally get a hold of his dream journal.
I'll bring you a revised edition tomorrow.
What the shit was that? Please don't do that ever again. Max wakes up in the middle of the night and sees that Sharkboy and Lavagirl have broken into his home. Hey look, it's Stewie from Scream.
My cookies, my giant cookies.
What are you doing baking sweets? You know what happens when you eat sugar?
I baked them for his class. So you could make friends at school, and now you've gone and eaten all of them.
Wait, you made cookies so Max could bribe kids at school with them for friendship? That's kinda sad. Max's parents try to convince him that Sharkboy and Lavagirl are just figments of his imagination, so the general consensus from everyone in Max's life is that Max's dreams are useless and dumb and that he needs to grow up. And if Max's life wasn't already shit enough, his parents are on the brink of divorce, because his dad is a writer and his mum is a horrible person who hates creative people.
I wish I could just escape this loser world and go to Planet Drool, so I can lay here all day tomorrow and dream of drool.
What the fuck? Now, so far we've seen that Max lives a fairly miserable life and he obviously likes to dream a lot as a form of escapism. And it makes sense so far. Max is a dreamer. That's fine. The movie's silly, but at least it's making a bit of sense so far. So Max gets ready to go to school and his mother once again destroys his dreams so hard that this time she literally makes her own son suicidal.
Wish anything could happen so I wouldn't have to come home today.
Jesus. And then Max arrives at school and we are blessed with what is easily the best scene in this entire movie.
He ruined my dream journal! I did not! Mr. Electric, send him to the principal's office and have him expelled!
But it doesn't end there, because now this movie is going to demonstrate the true extent of George Lopez's acting chops.
You're in my class, not the other way around. I know everything, and you know nothing. At the end of class, both of you will report to the principal's office. With your parents.
I've always loved how his eye twitches like that. How is this man not nominated at the Oscars? Then out of nowhere, a tornado hits the school, Mr. Electric yeets behind a desk, and Sharkboy and Lavagirl rock up to abduct Max, and they fuck off to this Planet Drool place that Max won't shut up about. And this is where all signs of logic go right out the fucking window. And now is also the perfect time to mention that the rest of the movie, from this point on, looks like pure shit. With all of it shot on green screen, you can tell the kids didn't know what the fuck their surroundings were supposed to be. And in general, it just looks like the movie was made on a 5-cent budget. It's disgusting. I was more convinced by the visual effects in Flash Gordon.
Gordon's alive?
So they arrive on Planet Drool, where we find out the planet is dying and needs to be saved.
We didn't go to Earth to save you, Max. We need you to save Planet Drool.
Great, so clearly everyone in this movie is a piece of shit. Back on Earth, Max gets abused by the entire school, his teacher secretly enjoys watching him get abused, and his own mother constantly puts him down. And now Sharkboy and Lavagirl are just using him to save some dumbass planet that has no impact on his existence whatsoever. She literally just told him to his face that they don't give a shit about him.
I'm not evil, am I, Max?
Yes, you are. I hate you. Despite all that, Max seems to be okay with being used as a doormat, so they go and locate the villain of the movie, which is this thing. This gigantic, circular, talking TV with fucking George Lopez for a face.
Well. If it isn't Sharkboy and Lavagirl, what are you doing halting my endless fun coaster and infiltrating my lair?
They proceed to fight Mr. Electric, but they all get their asses whooped. They're dumped in the dream graveyard, where all dreams, as well as my last remaining brain cells, go to die. And then they find a derelict robot named Tabor, and they escape via his flying eyes and mouth. What the fuck?
I'm free.
Yeah, good, fuck off. They transfer to the train of thought for like 2 seconds until Lavagirl jumps out Point Break style.
Adios, amigo.
so Sharkboy and Max copy her. They land on the land of milk and cookies, where they run into Max's giant cookie monster parents who try to eat them. That is for real. Max's own father literally tries to eat him. And shortly afterwards, we finally get to catch a break from all this stupidity to see what Mr. Electric is up to. Back to these guys. Sharkboy and Lavagirl try to get Max to fall asleep so he can dream them out of here. Apparently, if Max dreams hard enough, they can do whatever the fuck they want. So Sharkboy performs an aggressive musical number for Max.
Just relax, lay about, or my fist will put you out. Dream, 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 dream.
But he's singing about beating the shit out of Max, so I don't understand how this is supposed to be a lullaby, but I don't like this guy. Stop it. Mr. Electric catches up with the gang and sends out an army of his electric dogs or plug hounds, whatever the fuck they're called. We get to see Sharkboy screaming and going apeshit, but as usual, he gets his ass handed to him and fucking dies. So Max immediately takes up the mantle of being a screaming lunatic. But they eventually get away and fuck off on a banana split that Max dreamt up. So their plan now is to get a hold of some crystal heart thing that can apparently freeze time, which will give them the chance to save the planet. And I have no idea how this works, but at this point I've just accepted that Robert Rodriguez was probably tripping balls when he wrote this script. Yeah, Stephen King did coke to pump through his novels, but Robert Rodriguez was like 10 steps ahead. He was like 100 steps ahead. The gang narrowly make it across some ice bridge just to run into Handsome again, who captures them and takes them elsewhere. And then we find out that the mastermind behind all this shit is this guy. His name is Minus. Why? Minus torments them with Max's dream journal, and then he traps them in a cage where some fucking singing bubbles appear, and then Sharkboy and his serious anger management issues tear the cage apart. They return to a sleeping Minus to steal back Max's dream journal so they can locate the crystal heart. But in order for that to happen, Lavagirl decides she needs to have an identity crisis at the age of 12, and while seeking the answers to her purpose in life, she burns the dream journal as soon as she touches it. Fuck me. They make it to the ice castle that contains the crystal heart, and while trying to steal it, they freeze Lavagirl. The ice princess comes along, who turns out to be that girl in Max's class that he was flirting with at the start of the movie, who by the way, is Mr. Electric's daughter back on Earth, and she gives them the crystal. So the boys are using Lavagirl's frozen body as a surfboard now, and this is fine. She had to be useful to the plot in some way. They once again run into Mr. Electric, who cracks some life-ruining dad jokes, and then Sharkboy gets chased by some electric eels. Lavagirl tries to save him, and then both of them come out dead.
What do you do when your dreams have been destroyed?
Good question, man. Sharkboy then wakes up and dumps Lavagirl in a nearby volcano to save her. Some weird shit happens, Max apparently has superpowers now, and he runs away to fucking kill Linus or Minus, whatever his name is. They have some weird ass showdown to remind us that this movie's CGI was designed on a computer from the year 6000 BC. They throw random shit at each other, and then Max blows up Minus's head. While all this is happening, Sharkboy is having a similar showdown with Mr. Electric, in which Sharkboy summons his plastic sharks to devour Mr. Electric in like a millisecond. Max and Linus then become friends for some reason, and even though he just died, Mr. Electric suddenly appears out of nowhere just to say some stupid shit once again, and then he pisses off to Earth to kill Max in his sleep. No, seriously, that's actually what happens. And then we find out that this whole mindfuck of a storyline was just a dream. Kinda explains why none of it made any sense, but now the movie expects us to believe that Max has just been sleeping through a fucking tornado. And then Max's parents rekindle their relationship after being swallowed by said tornado.
Don't leave me!
I thought you wanted me to leave!
No, I don't! You're my best friend!
I love you!
Come on, guys. Come on.
I'm not going anywhere.
Guys, this video was a bad idea. I want to go home. Please. Please, I beg you. And then this arrogant shit reckons he can take on Mr. Electric, who's now rocked up to murder Max.
I can take him.
Suck shit! The best part about this scene is that the human Mr. Electric is just asking 10-year-old kids to volunteer to fight the robot Mr. Electric because he's too scared to do it himself. He doesn't even stop his own daughter when she goes out to fight him. But whatever, the Ice Princess girl freezes Mr. Electric with the crystal heart and shatters him to bits. They have a snow party and everyone lives happily ever after, and apparently Sharkboy and Lavagirl are actually real now, so yeah.
So dream a better dream. Then work to make it real.
Yes.
Hey, does that mean I can dream this movie to be over, or... Oh, yep, there we go, it worked. And there you have it, that was Sharkboy and Lavagirl. Yeah. Now here's the thing, guys. Sometimes when I watch a bad movie, I get a bit mad and perhaps even a bit upset when I find out that my time has been wasted. In the case of this movie, I'm not even mad or upset. I'm just confused. I'm dumbfounded. I don't know how this movie came about. I don't know who read this script and gave it the green light and said, yeah man, we're gonna give you 50 million to make this movie. Obviously the message of this movie is that all your wildest dreams can come true and fuck the haters. I mean, they explicitly stated the theme like 1,000 times in the movie. But the movie is such a mess that its message or theme or whatever just kind of gets rendered useless. Here's how I'd summarize the movie.
Have you ever had a dream that you want?
As I said at the start of the video, I know this movie's campiness was probably intentional. Either that or it was taking itself seriously for an audience of 7-year-olds. And listen, you can easily just get drunk with your friends and enjoy it as a so bad it's good movie. But I unfortunately watched this movie sober, and while some scenes certainly entertained me, the movie overall did take its toll on me, so I don't know. I'll never watch this movie again, that's what I'm trying to say. Now I know Netflix came out with a sequel to this movie last year, but I have not seen that movie. I do not want to see that movie. And I will never see that movie. Goodbye.